Hi everyone. It's been a while. Some of you, if you still remember me, you're probably wondering where I've been, what I've been up to. If not, you can just listen to the first part of this video, which is just gonna be like announcements. I'm gonna start streaming this month again. I have some horror games in mind that I'm gonna play, so if you wanna watch me scream, or enjoy like a good story or whatever, I'll be streaming some games and hopefully we could all have a good time. I'm gonna shift my focus from streaming into YouTube for a couple of reasons. I can briefly disclose them if you guys want. Don't mind me walking around, by the way. This is just to make things easier for me. Anyway, so one of the reasons is that in the position that I currently am on Twitch is not feasible for my growth to stick on Twitch. I'm gonna focus on YouTube more. I'm gonna stream on Twitch, but with the objective in mind that what I do on Twitch is gonna be used in a way or another for YouTube. I'm also considering streaming on Kick instead of Twitch, both for the reason of not putting all my fruits in a single basket, but also because I haven't been agreeing with things that Twitch has been doing as of late. Moving on, where have I been? What have I been up to? Alright, sorry about that. I had to go AFK for a moment. Anyway, some of you are probably wondering, where have you been? What you been up to? You haven't streamed in so long. And you're right, it's been a long time. Let me go back, about a year and a half, to 2 years ago, so I can start this. I slowed down the pacing on streaming for a while. One was the lack of motivation for it. Some things happened and it really demotivated me. But it was also because I had some things going on in real life that was just making it harder for me to stream. For quite a few months of last year, for about like 5 months, I pretty much had really, really bad, unstable internet. I was struggling really hard with it. I was also doing some work, and most importantly, I was helping my parents out, especially my father. His health had, at the time, deteriorated very rapidly. He's been struggling with his health for quite a few years now, but these last couple of years took a huge toll on him. By this year, he was already taking like over 10 medications every single day. And he had to constantly see doctors and such. And due to the stress, amongst others, I just couldn't find the energy to stream. I didn't feel like I could push myself to be entertaining enough for you guys. And me being a perfectionist, I couldn't accept that. I didn't want to do that. And it wasn't just lacking of time. Yes, I was busy, but like I said, it was also motivational. I tried streaming a few times, but honestly, as much fun as I would have during those streams, afterwards I would feel really tired mentally. That kind of added up as a multiplier to my mental health, which was already not the best. I just really couldn't do it, and that's on me. I apologize for that. But yeah, fast forwarding to this year, about 6 months ago, my father got very sick. We rushed him to the hospital. It turns out that he had a lot of liquid in his lungs, and it turns out that he had pneumonia. And I live in a small town, and the things that the doctors needed weren't available here. So he was rushed to a big city a couple of hours away from here. He did some tests, and it turns out that he had a problem with his heart. He needed to do surgery to transplant the valve in his heart. And he also had some problems with his veins, and apparently that was like hereditary. I don't recall accurately right now, but his veins were too thin. Some of his veins in his heart, and that was causing problems too. And that's the weirdest part because he took really good care of his health. So he got on a waiting list for the surgery. So he had to get a valve transplant and saphenous bypass. Is that how it's called? I'm not sure now. And in August, he got it scheduled. We weren't very concerned. I mean, we were like anxious, but we thought things would be okay. A nurse, by the request of my father, since he was like a couple of hours away and we wouldn't be able to be with him after the surgery anyway, we were gonna visit him after they would allow people to visit, which would be a couple of days after the surgery. We got good news. The surgery was successful. So I was relieved and I went to sleep fine. But then the following morning, my mother woke me up. I'm gonna avoid details on here, but we got the information that my father ended up getting a really serious infection, and they requested family members to go see him. That's never a good sign. So we dropped everything that we were doing and we went there to see him. A doctor received us. We had a couple of old friends over there to give some support. The doctor told us that his blood pressure was really, really, like extremely low. They gave him all the medications that they could. All that they could do is just wait and see what would happen. We weren't allowed to visit him for long. It was like a sector of the hospital where visits wasn't really allowed. So we couldn't stay there for long. I went to see him, and the state that he was in was really heartbreaking. It was probably one of the worst things that I've ever seen. I'm not gonna go into details on what I saw. It was just... My father was like my hero. I really admired him. And to see him unconscious in that state really broke me. It was a very traumatizing experience for me. My mother ended up staying in the city with someone, but I ended up having to go back home because we just left our dog by himself. And there were a couple of things that were gonna arrive that I had to receive at home. And my mother would keep me up to date. The following day, everything was really sketchy. People weren't updating me or anything. I tried to contact the hospital, but they said that they couldn't give information through the phone about patients. And later that evening, my mother arrived with a couple of people, one of them being my uncle, and my mother gave me the news that my father had passed away. I I already knew that something went wrong because of the way that people were behaving. I was trying to call and text people, and everything was really odd, and I could tell. I cried for hours before they arrived, and by the time I got the news officially about it, I didn't think I could shed another tear, and for a while I didn't. And then I listened to the last audio that my father sent to me on WhatsApp, and it all came rushing back. Honestly, I don't think I'll ever be able to be the same again. I thought that I would grieve for about a month and then I would be fine, but I can still do my day-to-day tasks. But the worst is when I lay down and me having a really active mind, I end up thinking about him. And this is the point of the video right here. When I was with him for the last time, I ended up telling him things that I held back from saying for many years. And that's one of my biggest regrets. And I will have to carry this for the rest of my life. I was worried that he would judge me or find it weird or stupid, cringy. Looking back, I really wish I could have said everything that I was holding it in all this time. My father was a wonderful man. A really good man. He was one of my best friends. I could rely on him. I could trust him. We'd strike constructive conversations and intellectual ones about history and philosophy. Yeah, in fact, the only reason I have any sort of interest in history is thanks to my father and Age of Empires. Really good game. He was the one that taught me how to play chess when I was 3 years old, I believe. He was really nice about it. He didn't care that I would fiddle around with the pieces. He would swap our pieces when I was losing until I got to the point where we could play fairly against each other. He was a very intelligent man, but one of his biggest strengths was his dedication and discipline. And he was just a morally good person. He cultivated a lot of friendships and a lot of people liked him. He would legit just help random people on the street if he noticed that somebody needed help. And he always tried to teach me things, important things, how to repair something, or what to do in X or Y situation. He was a really good father. Not perfect. We would collide a lot with each other sometimes. A lot of disagreements. But at the end of the day, none of that mattered. We still cared and loved each other very much. So I just have a message for you guys that are still listening to this. If you have somebody that you love and that you care about, just show that to them. Tell them that you love them. Tell them that you care for them. Show them that you're there for them. Things that you might think are cringy or that you think might have a better opportunity or moment to do or say those things that you're holding back. Just don't wait. Just go ahead and do it. Because you never know when something might change or something might happen. And then you could end up just like me. Just with a lot of regrets. This looks very pretty. Anyway, thank you everybody for listening or watching this. It means a lot to me. And this is probably the last time that I'm gonna be opening up about my private life, at least at this level. It's just that I felt like I could send an important message to people, and if I could have changed at least the mind of one person, all of this is already worth it to me. Alright. I'll speak with you guys soon. I still have a couple of announcements to do. Can't wait. Bye bye, guys. Take care.